What's good? It's your boy Seto Kaiba. Yeah, ain't no professional shit going on right now. So I ain't using no government. I've had enough. I've had enough of Spence and Crawford fans. If you a Spence and Crawford fan, if you one of those diehard fans, calling your ass to the carpet today. So I'll wait till a couple more people join me, and then we can get going, man. This shit has to stop. This shit has to stop. This is the mood today, man. Let's bring back real boxing fans. Eastside, what's good with you? Let's bring back real boxing fans, right? Yeah. Yeah, Eastside. Boxing DC News was good. Let's bring back real boxing fans, right? Let's start. Let's start with channels. And some of these dudes are my friends. Some of these dudes are my homies. Like I, talk to them every day or whatnot. But they are so entrenched and emotionally invested in whatever fighter they like. In this little back and forth that even if it's so glaring that one person is holding up this fight, they will continuously blame it on the other guy, right? They don't want to be real. They don't want to be real because them being real is them admitting that they were wrong. Okay? Do y'all feel me? Right? Nobody wants to be wrong. So I am not a Terence Crawford nor Errol Spence fan. Okay, let me just throw that out there. Right? I used to be a Crawford fan. I never really was an Errol Spence guy. But I started to notice inconsistencies in both parties. Right? So I kind of like fell back. I fell back from the bickering for one side because I used to be one of them guys, man. Spence is ducking. Spence don't want to fight, right? I used to be one of them dudes. Shouts out to my man Ezri Turner, man. What's good, Izzy? I want y'all to remember that name because he's gonna be knocking out your favorite super middleweight real soon. But I used to be one of them dudes until I started paying attention to actually learning the business of boxing. Right? So a lot of these channels is going to act like they understand what's going on. They're going to act like they have inside sources. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't leave their house. A lot of them don't leave their city. A lot of them don't talk to anybody that's legitimate in boxing. They don't. They grab other people's news and then they spin a narrative. That's what they do. And they make money off that narrative. I ain't knocking out a dude makes money because shit, we all got to eat. But I'm just giving you the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is it doesn't benefit them to be honest. It just doesn't. Right? A motherfucker can know the truth. This person's holding up the fight. They will not say it. They will somehow find a way to blame the other party. And as fans, we got to recognize that. We're supposed to be boxing fans. We were boxing fans before Crawford and Spence ever became a thing. We were boxing fans before Pacquiao and Mayweather ever became a thing. But somehow these big fights just pit both sides against each other. And all you do is see on Facebook bickering back and forth. All you see on YouTube bickering back and forth. Where's the real boxing? When the last time y'all actually broke down a fight? When's the last time you talked about a subject that wasn't Spencer Crawford? When's the last time you talked about shit? We got fights coming up this weekend: Joshua versus Usyk. Anybody talking about it? Sergey Lipinas versus Omar Figueroa. Anybody talking about it? Any of these channels that y'all watch talking about it. No, all they do is come on and then just give out fake news after fake news after fake news. Oh man. Oh, Al Heyman is holding up the fight. Oh man. Oh, Terence Crawford. He met up with Errol Spence and they duped it out in the parking lot. Oh man. Errol Spence is so afraid of Terence Crawford when he was in Dallas, he ran to Arizona. Like, are y'all fucking serious? Like, really think about what I'm saying. That's the type of shit you see consistently. Consistently. Bullshit. You really think they're afraid of each other? Really? Because that's the narrative that's been painted for years. Errol Spence is petrified, right? Errol Spence is terrified of Terence Crawford. That's what they would have you believe. They would have you believe that Terence Crawford is terrified of Errol Spence. Yeah, big fish, man. Really? Is that what you believe? Like somebody that beats people up for a living, somebody that's been fighting their whole life, is afraid of another man, especially when they're at the top of their game. Haven't been beaten. And I may lose subscribers over this, but fuck that, man. I'm tired of y'all, yo. I'm tired of y'all. News broke. Crawford wants 22 million. Oh man, he's ducking. News broke. Spence, Al Heyman offered Terence Crawford 14 million for a 3-fight deal. See, I told you how they want to fight. Like, where do y'all get this shit from? And like I said, they be my homies. Where do y'all get this shit from? I gotta ask. Like, y'all, I feel like dudes is just pulling shit out of thin air. And then you got motherfuckers that's listening to Rick Glaser. Rick Glaser clearly doesn't like anything Al Heyman, but you're gonna trust his news, right? You're gonna trust his opinion. When that man has never said anything good about PBC ever in his life, but you're gonna trust the news that he gives you is gonna be non-biased. No, you just want somebody. You just want somebody that is going to report on the narrative that you want to believe. And the narrative that you want to believe is the guy that you like. The other guy is afraid of that guy. The guy that you like is the one that really wants to smoke. The guy that you like is a knight of the old code. He don't care about money. He just, all he cares about legacy and making the best fights. When fucking reality shows you that all these motherfuckers are the same, man. Every last one of them. Niggas got me out of character today, yo. But I gotta put it like this. All these dudes are the same. Guess what? They want to get paid. It's about money. You listen to these motherfuckers in interviews talking about, oh man, it's all about the Hall of Fame, and the money don't matter. I'm fighting for free. They will fucking die. They will not. You come into work like, let's say you're a bus driver. Oh man, I just really want people to to get to their destination safely and this and that. Let them fuck up on your check. Watch how you get. Let them short you. Watch how you get. Let them fuck up your hours. Watch how you get. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. This is business. Reality of it, this is business, right? Crawford wants a number. Spence wants a number. Showtime is offering a number. Now they got to work that out. Whatever the terms is, they have to work that out. You think that they've been sitting in a room for 2 months because they're afraid? You think they've been sitting there for 2 months because they don't want to make a fight? I know you want to believe that niggas is terrified of your favorite fighter. I know that's what you want to believe. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. But these channels will have you believe this shit. These channels will go there every fucking day on their soapbox. Oh man, Spence. Oh, he don't really want to fight. Remember that when he said 6 years ago, oh, Crawford, he should have did this, he should have did that. He really don't want to fight. They're in the room now. They're in the room now. Let them do what they do. Now, I hear shit just like everybody else. I hear who's holding up the fight from credible sources. I don't report on it though. I hear numbers. I don't report on it though. And the first thing a hater will say is, "Well, how do you know? Tell me your sources." That's not what journalists. That's not what a real journalist does. They never give up these sources. If the sources don't want me to talk about numbers, I won't talk about numbers. But I hear shit. Believe it or don't. I hear shit. And it would make more sense trusting somebody that you actually see in the mix as opposed to trusting dudes that you ain't never see at no event. You ain't never see him talk to an executive. You ain't never see him talk to a fighter. You ain't never see him talk to a trainer. You ain't never see him talk to a manager. So where they getting this information from? Where? Report on this shit every day. Oh man, Al Haymon's a cancer of boxing. When they say that shit, it cracks me the fuck up, right? It cracks me the fuck up because all Al Haymon's ever done is do right by his fighters. But boxing fans really don't give a fuck about boxing. They pretend to. If you really cared about boxers, right? Wouldn't you want them to make the most money possible? If you really cared about boxers, would you really be mad if they took time off for mental health? No, you only care about your entertainment. And then you compare these dudes to the guys of the past, right? The guys of the past that died broke, the guys of the past who's fucking shaking, can't even open a jar, can't even hold water without it spilling. Those guys that got fucked over by promoters and managers their whole entire career. And you get mad that fighters, young fighters, saw that, and now they want to focus more on business. That means you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about your favorite fighter. For real, for real. You don't care. You don't care if he goes back to his family, if he can formulate a fucking sentence. Like you keep talking about Don King and oh man, he put on the best cards and man, it was the shit. Yeah, listen to his fucking fighters talk. Listen to him. Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. How they sound to you? How's James Toney sound to you? How they sound? You can't even understand them, yo. My man Tone Money, PBC trying to do Bud bad. Explain, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, Don King definitely was a crook. This is what I'm talking about. PBC trying to do Bud bad. Explain. Expound on that. How are they trying to do Bud bad? And what do you consider trying to do Bud bad? I know the number that he was offered. It's not a bad number. It's a very solid number. It's a number I would expect him to take. But I can't tell that man what to take. He's his own man. But if the fight don't happen, it's between Bud and Showtime. Errol Spence is done. Errol Spence, his negotiations are over. If we're going to be honest. If we're being honest right now, Errol Spence's negotiations have been over. He agreed to a number a while back. That's the reality. Right now, it's Terence Crawford and Showtime. So let them work out whatever deal, they want to work out. Shit, I hope Bud gets the number that he's looking for. But if the fight doesn't happen, then it's going to be an issue between those two parties. Is Showtime trying to actively make this fight and putting forth effort to make this fight? Steven Espinosa? Yes. He's doing everything in his power. But you got to understand there's a budget. Like dudes want to act like they understand the business of boxing when they talk about splits and shit like that. But understand that there's a budget. You just can't just give somebody the number that they want per se. Everybody has a unique way of doing business. PBC, Showtime, they operate more so on a points. They give up very, 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 very good points on pay-per-view, whereas though other promotional companies do not. So they're going to give out less guaranteed money. If you're comfortable with that deal, you know, you stand to either make a whole lot of money or, you know, you can just make okay money. It's about how you believe in the fight and yourself. Some people aren't comfortable with that. Some people have an employee type mindset where they want guarantees, they don't want points. Some people, you know, are entrepreneurial mindset. They want points. Here we go with the 50-50 stuff, right? Fans are assuming that whatever's being negotiated isn't 50-50, that Crawford is getting the shaft, and that's why that's why the fight hasn't been made yet. No. Last I heard, the only thing that was holding up the fight is the actual guaranteed money. One person wanted more than what was offered. And that's his right. Can't get mad at that. But y'all fans need to stop acting like somebody's just getting an 80-20 split, a 90-10 split, and they just don't they just offer them just pennies on the dollar. That is not what's happening here. That is not what's happening here. But that's because you want there to be a problem. You want it not to be. Let me say it like this. In your mind, you built up that Terence Crawford is this knight of the old code. In your mind, you built up that Terence Crawford just wants to get in there and fight. Terence Crawford is about his business. Reality of it. Terence Crawford has always shown you that he's about his business. But somehow in your mind, you twisted it to know them PBC guys are ducks and they only care about the money and they only want to fight turkeys. And Terence Crawford really, 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 really wants these fights. Okay. Terence Crawford told you why he re-signed with Bob Arum. Well, why did he say? Oh, because they offered me a higher guarantee. That's business. Terence Crawford also said during the bubble that he wasn't going to fight for he wasn't going to fight for anything less than his minimum. Business. Terence Crawford also told you 50-50 and no fight with Errol Spence. Business. But in certain fans' minds, no. Terence Crawford is about just making the fights. But I gave you 3 different instances where Terence Crawford was about business. You don't want to believe that because it doesn't fit with the narrative that you've either been sold or the narrative that you want to believe. Now, he has every right to be about his business. I'm not getting punched in the head. You're not getting punched in the head. He has to look out for his family. But don't paint a brush of somebody that's just not reality. Reality is the new age boxer is more business conscious than the boxer of the decade or decades before. And you can thank Floyd Mayweather for that. True speaks. Crawford has never been about business. Aaron repeatedly said that's 2 different things. 2 different things. Crawford doesn't care if the promoter makes money. Crawford cares if he makes money. He's about the business of Terence Crawford. Nothing wrong with that. It's Bob Arum's job to promote the fight. He's a promoter. It's in his title. Promote the fight. Terence Crawford pays Bob Arum a percentage out of his purse to promote the fight. There you go. Let me start with this. Is Boots going to be headlining a card in his next fight that you know of? Honestly, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is holding up the division. So if you notice that any welterweight fights haven't been announced, that's why. If that fight doesn't get made, mandatories get ordered. So everything's on a hold up. Boots should be headlining with Stanionis for the regular. I keep hearing Stanionis versus Cody Crowley. That's what I keep hearing. I mean, hopefully Boots gets that fight, but that's the names that I keep hearing come together. Let me tell y'all. Let me see in the comments, right? Let's take this back to boxing. Who wins this fight and why? I feel like I've ranted enough about bad boxing media and boxing fans. Who wins this fight and why? That's bad business, though. If you're only concerned about your end, but your partner left to dry, are you really doing good business? Hey, hey. Boots is in purgatory right now. Unfortunately, yeah, everybody's in purgatory. Everybody's waiting for one of these belts to open up. So it's Philly boxing guy. Spence wins by stoppage or decision. Okay. In the comments, let me know who wins, man. Let's take this back to real boxing. Let me know who wins and why. Boots don't want to fight nobody. Why he don't call out Ortiz? Something realistic, then call out. Okay, so go. He's the mandatory for Errol Spence's title, right? Virgil Ortiz just fought a week or two ago. He would literally have to wait for Virgil Ortiz for about 3 to 4 months to get that fight now. That fight has no chance of being made. Like we got to think of things that are actually realistic, right? And has he called out Virgil Ortiz? Yes. But like I said, Virgil Ortiz just fought. Boots is slated to come back in the fall. So tell me when that fight happens. What do I think about that, Khaled? I was told that this fight is next. I was told that they already started trying to match the undercard for this fight. So I don't know when the date's going to be. I don't even know if they have a deal done per se. I just know that they're actively trying to make this fight. All right, so we got Bud by TKO, time and punch placement speed. Okay, I'll dig it. Bud by decision, I dig it. Bud stops Spence inside of 10 rounds. I definitely can see that happening too. Judah was good. What up with you, bro? Boots versus David Evanesian. I like that fight. Crowley wants a big payday to fight Boots, but would lose to Stanionis for less money. Sad. Crowley got a better chance of beating Stanionis than he do Boots. I think it's 60-40 Spence. Crawford was getting rocked by Porter. Okay. Yes, we do, Andrew. Yes, we do. Jake Paul versus Greg Hackett. I'm for it, man. We need that fight. But by decision, okay. I know Boots is with Duncan. Would it be a wise move elsewhere? It depends. I mean, it been with Cameron for most of his career. So if he feels like Cameron is doing right by him, then you know you want to go with who's gonna make you the most comfortable. Um, Al Heyman, that wouldn't be a bad move either. I mean, maybe they can work out something, together. He's already with Showtime, so you know, Crawford been shitty for years. I don't know if he can take Spence power for too long. It's hard to say a dude is chinny that's never been dropped. I know what you're saying because I've seen his body react to certain shots, but it's hard to really say chinny because he's never been dropped or knocked down. So I like them both. I got to go with Crawford. Keep it the great content. Appreciate you, bro. Earl, because he's more of a solid body puncher, don't think they will put Stanley Anderson there with Boots because they want to make a star with Boots. Hey, Foxy, this is the reality when it comes to Boots. Because Boots is not an Al Heyman fighter, it's going to be harder for Boots to get those A-level fights. It's like, why should Al Heyman beef Boots up with his fighters when he can just do that with one of his own? That's a lot of times what happens in boxing and why you don't get the matchups that you feel like you want to see is because everything is strategic. Boots got the best chance, in my opinion, to beat Bud. I think Boots does beat Bud. I want to see Paul get crucified. Put him in there against Canelo. Yeah. It wasn't considered a knockdown, Judah. I think it was a knockdown, but it wasn't considered a knockdown. So that's what I was saying. The dude hasn't been dropped. If they working on the undercard, I would love to see Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin. Not gonna happen, bro. Keyshawn fights on top rank. This would strictly be a PBC card. So yeah, even though that would be a good fight. Yeah, he's a Showtime fighter. He's not an Al Heyman fighter though. The Al Heyman fighters fight on Showtime and fight on Fox, but Boots is not signed to Al Heyman. It's the equivalent to you got Matchroom and Golden Boy on the zone. Well, dude like Ryan Garcia isn't signed to Eddie Hearn, even though he's under the zone. It's not signed to Eddie Hearn. So there's gonna be certain things that Eddie can't necessarily make fights on Ryan's behalf. So it's Foxy, they work together, but ultimately Boots doesn't have paperwork with Al Heyman. That's why you see Boots getting the quality of opponent that he's getting. JR, what's good? Dudes got to understand, man. They're going to put whoever fighter that they have paperwork on in the best position to succeed. Why am I going to beef up somebody else's fighter? Why am I going to help build somebody else's fighter? Put it like this: if Boots was signed to Al Heyman, I'm 90% sure that he would have gotten Ugas or Spence by now. The Boots hype is slick out of control. I understand he's the best welterweight prospect since Errol Spence, but let him work out with some top tier fighters. I mean, who do you want to see him fight? I mean, that's realistic. I mean, he would be the mandatory for Errol Spence's belt. You don't want him to fight Earl because you want to see Earl versus Crawford. Okay. Keith Thurman isn't trying to give Boots the time of day because of obvious reasons. Stanionis and Crowley, they're probably going to fight each other. Virgil Ortiz is on the zone, and Virgil Ortiz just fought. Conor Ben's about to fight Chris Eubanks. So you tell me a fight that can be made realistically for Jaron Ennis that you're going to give him credit for. Because right now, because of the Crawford versus Spence situation, he's stuck sitting on his hands. And a bunch of other welterweights are stuck sitting on their hands. Keith stuck sitting on his hands. Like fucking Conor Ben got to fight a dude that's a middleweight. Who else? Stanionis has been waiting. Stanionis, he actually didn't take the step aside money. Boots did, but Stanionis should be a mandatory. So yeah, it's a whole clusterfuck in the welterweight division right now. All right, so you think Bud going to sign just to Showtime and not Al Heyman like Boots? No, I don't think. I think Bud is just going to be on one fight deals. I don't think he's going to sign with Al Heyman for some reason. Um, he doesn't feel like that's the best course of action for him. Whether we agree or don't agree, he doesn't feel like going with Al Heyman is the best move. I think he should though. I think nobody builds a black fighter better than Al Heyman, in my opinion. Nobody builds a Puerto Rican fighter better than Bob Arum. Nobody builds a UK fighter better than Eddie Hearn, and nobody builds a Mexican fighter better than Oscar De La Hoya. Everybody has their lane that they're really, really good at. It's like when you hear dudes talk about, oh, you pro PBC or you anti this, bro. I'm pro Top Rank. I'm pro PBC, the Zone, Matchroom, all that shit. Anybody that gives me boxing, I'm pro. Like, yeah, they got certain things that they do business wise that I don't dig. But at the end of the day, we have more boxing now than we had shit in the last 20, 30 years. We get 2 to 3 cards every week. Now, it's not always top tier fights, but shit, we getting fights. All right, so Foxy says Boots still can get Ugas. So Foxy, I'm gonna present you a situation. This is how trolls work, right? Boots goes out, knocks Ugas. What's the first thing they gonna say? Oh, Ugas was damaged goods. Earl just broke his face. Earl just knocked him out. Boots ain't gonna get credit for that. You know it. You know what they're gonna say. While Ugas is a good name, it's not coming off of a good performance. Okay, we're going to examine each one of these opponents. Ugas just got his face broke. Porter retired. Thurman, we don't know what's up with him. Stanion is likely to fight Cody Crowley. Virgil Ortiz just fought Michael McKinson. Rashidi Ellis has fought 1 round of boxing in the last 2.5 years. So I doubt they'll put him in the ring with Boots right now. And I don't want to be a downer on here, but I just got to give you the reality of it. Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about Boots. I haven't seen him fight anyone. Fight Thurman or some damn body. You see, that's the like yo, these diehard fans of Crawford, Spence, or other fighters. Now you're seeing them like direct hate and vitriol to Boots. And I don't understand it. You don't think Boots is nice? Matthew, you don't think he's nice? You said fight Thurman or somebody. Crawford and Spence ain't beat Thurman. Only Manny Pacquiao did, who's a legend. And yeah, Boots wants that fight. Can he get that fight? I doubt it. But he's the mandatory. So is Crawford or Spence going to make a fight happen? If not, let Boots get a shot. Why Thurman won't make Boots fight? Thurman wants $10+ million. Risk versus reward. And that's not even necessarily a rumor. And I understand what he's doing. Boots is capable of beating Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman would make $10+ million fighting Spence or Crawford, dudes who are capable of beating him. So if he's going to fight a dude that's capable of beating him, he wants the maximum amount of money. Not mad at that. I'm sad for Boots because I want to see him get the fights just like you want to see him get the fights. But the business of boxing is hurting guys like that, just like it hurt Terence Crawford. Should Boots take a catch weight fight for the time being? Nah. He should just fight the best available guy in the division. Thurman wants too much money for Boots. Shouts out to my man J.R. Bell, a journalist from the Boxing Source. Yeah. Damone, tell your boy to report to the live, man. Tell your boy, man. I'm on his ass. My man Bushido's boxing. Bud Shido's boxing. I love my homie. Biased dude, though. My bad, Mike. I got you. I got Spence skilled enough. Big man beats smaller skill fighter. There's truth to that. There's definitely truth to that. I want to send a shout out to my man Jason for the super chat. Thank you for the great work that you're doing in the Philly area. Greg be spitting facts. Yeah, I love Greg, man. Love Greg. Foxy, what about Butayev? That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Butayev's coming off of a loss. Is Butayev more likely than anybody else? Probably. Yo, y'all giving a lot of comments. I'm trying to get to each one. I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm so sorry, y'all. They coming in like gangbusters. These fighters don't call no shots. As soon as people realize that, they won't be emotionally invested in all this boxing stuff. Larry, good point. Okay, y'all. It's time for me to show my ass, right? I'm going to try to explain the business of boxing as much as possible. A lot of times people think it's accomplishments that get you paid. Nope. Drawing power, right? So on a regular boxing show, you have a budget, right? So these promoters, these like large level promoters, don't even put up their own money. The network puts up the money. And based off of how much the network actually gives them to work with, that's the quality of boxing show that they can put on. So let's say it's $2 million and you want Mikey versus Lomachenko. But Mikey versus Lomachenko want $2 million a piece to fight each other. Now, they're either not going to make that fight at that point in time, or that's when these fights get taken to pay-per-view. So that's why you see so many pay-per-view fights, because dudes' contractual guarantees are so high that the network doesn't want to foot that bill themselves, so they have the customer foot the bill. And that's why Victor Postol versus Terence Crawford ended up on pay-per-view, because HBO didn't believe in that fight. And Bob Arum still wanted to make it happen. My man Podcast, appreciate $5 super chat. Who do you got winning Bud versus Spence fight? If you answered it already, my bad. No, I didn't answer it. It's 50-50. I can see both dudes winning that fight. I can see Bud winning it because he's the better boxer. He's the better all-around fighter. And southpaws hate fighting other southpaws. And Bud's best stance is a southpaw. And I think that Spence isn't used to jabbing a southpaw. He hasn't fought a southpaw since Chris Van Heerden. And that can give him problems because when southpaws fight orthodox fighters, they only have a couple of set punches they have to worry about. Straight right and left hook primarily, because their jab is lining up with the orthodox fighter's jab. Orthodox fighter really can't get his jab off like that. But when facing a southpaw, now everything's available. Left uppercut, check right hook, straight left, right hook to the body. Like everything's available. So they often say you'll see how good a southpaw really is when he has to fight another southpaw. As far as Spence, I can see Spence winning by just pure work rate. Bud has a tendency to start slow, and Spence is a plain hoagie, right? He's just plain hoagie with premium bread, premium meat. We all know what Errol Spence is going to come out and do. We can close our eyes, and we've seen an Errol Spence fight, right? He's going to come out with the jab, hard jab, close the distance, body work. Real good body work, high work rate. That's it. Can Bud take that for 12 rounds? Because Errol Spence gets stronger as the fight goes. We saw that against Ugas. He gets stronger and stronger and stronger and starts turning up the output. And Bud really isn't a natural 47. So can he handle a big man punching on him for 12 rounds? So in the last part of it, Bud has the tendency to like to fight too much. And because he likes to fight, is he going to use his boxing ability and his legs to keep Spence turning all night and keep countering him effectively, or is he going to try to stand his ground and step to Spence? If he does that, that gives Spence an advantage. If he stays disciplined, I feel like he can win a comfortable decision, 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4. So we got to see. My man Jose Medina, Bud for the win. Okay, I feel you. Yo, why something Virgil can't really say 4 years for Boots. I've never seen a video of saying it was Robert Garcia that said that. It was Robert Garcia that said it. See, fighters aren't scared of other fighters, yo. Virgil ain't scared of Boots. But the business of boxing states, why fight Boots right now? It's not even going to be for a world title. That's a future big fight. So why fight him now when Crawford and Spence can go ahead to 54 and then me and Boots can have our own pay-per-view fight later on down the line? I know we want these fights now, but that's just how these dudes think. They want to make the most possible money. And like I said, it don't be the fighters. You got a manager, you got a trainer, you got a promoter, you got a network head. So understand that a fighter's sitting in a room, and this is how it would go. Let's say it's Errol Spence. All right, Spence. We got $4 million for Danny, $4 million for Porter, and $4 million for Ugas. Oh, but I want Crawford. I really want that fight. Yeah, we'll only make about $5 to $6 million right now, but if you wait a year or two, yeah, we'll be able to get you 15 for that fight. That's a hard fight. Take the Ugas fight. Take the Porter fight. You know you'll win those, and then we can build the Bud fight down the line, man. Trust us. Trust us. We've done this before. That's how it goes. And at the end of the day, the paperwork that fighters sign is they can't make a fight themselves. Like there's contracts on Google if y'all want to read them. And people be like, oh, the Al Heyman slave contract. Every manager, every advisor's contract states that a fighter can't make a move fighting wise without their say so. So if dudes think that it's just an Al Heyman contract, no, everybody. But somehow Al Heyman's become the villain of boxing. It's weird. Bud by KO. Okay. Bro, when you gonna drop a full in this sparring, there are no yeah, bro. Mr. Bosey don't play that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I could film it, I would have been put that shit out. Mr. Bosey's old school. He don't play that tape and sparring shit, right? The only people that I've ever seen get like clips of sparring is Showtimes. That's it. If I really could, I would. Like, but yeah, nah, Mr. Bosey, old school, don't tape sparring. Don't even like it's taboo. Like for these old heads, it's taboo to even talk about sparring. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. Only if you make them mad, where you talking shit about something that didn't happen, and then that's when they get, then that's when they get upset. Leon, what's good? Michael Virgil said they want time to make a bigger fight. Why fight now? Yeah, Andy, don't make sense. And I want to see the fight, but business wise, it don't make sense. And I know fans get tired of hearing business wise, business wise, business wise. But we got to respect the fact that this is how these people make a living. We make our living and we make moves based on business. So that's why I can't tell Bud what to take. I can't tell Spence what to take. I can't tell you like what number, like as a man, like how can I determine your value as a man? How can I determine what Showtime should come out of their pockets with? I can't. All I can see is if they don't make a fight, I got to look at the parties involved. Okay, well, whose terms already agreed to? Whose terms weren't agreed to? And if that person's terms wasn't agreed to, then you are the reason why the fight didn't happen, whether it's justified or unjustified. So, like I said, a lot of these channels are gonna sell you a dream, man. They're gonna sell you that dude's scared and petrified. They're gonna sell you that PBC's the big bad wolf and they offering Terence Crawford a double quarter pounder and fries. Not even a drink, just double quarter pounder and fries. They want you to believe that. No. Negotiations are back and forth. And the reason why you really haven't heard anything about the numbers like that is because they're actively trying to make the fight. So let them. You have these channels coming out with different news every day. All the fights happening next. The fight's happening next. Oh, it's not happening. It's Al Heyman. You don't want the fight to happen. Come on, bro. The real question is, can Earl stay focused and not spit out his mouthpiece? um, that's a factor, Game Bread. That's a factor. I think it's the new teeth that Earl has. I think that he's not necessarily used to. He's either not used to getting hit in the mouth with him, or he doesn't have a mouthpiece that is what's the terminology? Formed for his new mouth. I can't. Y'all tell me what the analogy is. I forget what they call it. Can I name a top fighter Boots has sparred? Adult or when he was younger? I don't know everybody that he sparred. I know he sparred J Rock. I know. I don't. I'm not sure if he's ever sparred Danny. I know he used to get better sparring when he was younger, but when he became of real threat age, a lot of times top level guys don't want to get in the ring with somebody they may have to see down the line. But to my knowledge, the best fighter he's ever sparred will probably be that I know of will be J Rock. I would literally have to ask Mr. Boozy that. My man Devion, do y'all think Bud can't handle any type of pressure that Spence brings? Bud has seen in fought pressure fighters, but Spence ain't very slick boxer puncher. Okay, Devion, has Bud ever fought a pressure fighter like Spence? That's the thing, though. He's fought pressure fighters, but not that size and that carry that kind of ability. That's what makes it a intriguing fight because we don't know. My man Miles Franklin can't eat legacy. No, you sure can. No, you sure can. Top dog. Think big fights like this take time to do, but fans are impatient. And like I said, you got channels that want to push that narrative, the scare narrative. They make money off that shit, yo. They make money off shit. And a lot of times they be knowing the truth. A lot of times these dudes know the truth, but it doesn't fit what their channel is about. If they've run with a narrative for years that said, okay, Spence is scared of Bud is scared of Spence, they can't switch up. They got to die on that hill. You said legacy is eternal, right? Um, ex Riddick Bowe, ex Wilfredo Benitez, ex Gerald McKellen. I don't know if you've seen them lately, but it's bad. It's real bad. That legacy shit sounds good, but do you want to get paid in legacy or do you want to get paid in actual currency? Me, I want currency. Thank you, Norin. Molded. I don't think that Spence has a mouthpiece that's molded to his new mouth. Shit, I was dying. It's mad fighters with legacy who died brutal. Facts. Haney took less money to fight Cambosos. Yeah, Haney still got paid $2.8 million, which was his normal going rate. Haney was getting about $3 million to fight. So he didn't necessarily take a pay cut. He just didn't make what he could have made if he held out longer, but he didn't have any leverage. None. Boots versus Bootsai might be the move. He's the highest rated fighter available. Yeah, him or former champ Jamal James. I would prefer Bootsai because Jamal James got knocked out. Soon as the season start, I got you, bro. I'm a real basketball dude. I just haven't had the time. Boxing, man, keeps you just fuck. Have Boots faced a pressure fighter like Spence? No, not at all. Adames is bigger, but he ain't like Spence. He's a really good fighter, though. He's a really good fighter. Legacy important until they started getting ripped off by the promoters. True. Like, yo, I don't think y'all understand how that pie is broken down with fighters. Like, you got some managers and promoters that take it 33%, 33 to 30. I'm sorry. So I want you to imagine, not taxes. So you get your little $2 million check, you excited. 10% go to your trainer, 33% going to your promoter, 20% going to your manager, and 3% going to the sanction fee for your belt. But you want to tell me that legacy is what's important. Sorry. I can't ride with that. Can't ride with that. I ain't gonna be one of these dudes on here is fucking capping, right? The same dudes that hit you with that soapbox legacy and and old school boxing and all that shit is the same dudes that actually be screening fights. Those dudes, same dudes you never see them go to a fight. Those dudes, same guys, same guys that will tell Crawford to take a pay cut. Same guys that will tell Spence to take a pay cut. Is the same guys that leave jobs for extra $2 an hour. Tell me I'm wrong. Same dudes that, oh man, don't care about what you get paid. Go out there for the fans. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. You're fans. Just like wherever job you work at, if you let's say you work at a restaurant, yeah, people are fans of those restaurants, of that restaurant. You gonna work for free because people like the chicken fingers? No. You want to get paid. You want to get paid for the work that you do. You want to get paid for the service you provide. You want to get paid for your expertise. Like, yo, what you not gonna hear from me is bullshit. I know a lot of channels say that. I'm just gonna give you the real. If I can't tell you something, I'm gonna tell you I can't tell you. It's the reality of it. I don't have any equity in Crawford versus Spence. My channel isn't built on that. My channel is built on real boxing and predicated on majority Philadelphia boxing and sports. So I give you the perspective and what's going down in Philly. I do go to a lot of events, but I don't care about Crawford versus Spence who wins. I just want to see the fight. But I'm not invested in either. So that's why I can give you the truth. This is a sports channel. I just don't cover as much sports as I would like to. This is an all sports channel. Because Cody's an out-handed fighter. Kobe, what's good? Basketball team, Lakers. And that's the Lakers before LeBron. You got Boots over all the younger guys. I do too. Damone. Yeah, Boots faced Gary in the amateurs. He beat Gary, and Gary beat him either 2 or 3 times. One of those, I don't think Gary should have won, though. He got his mouthpiece knocked out 3 times. I noticed that dudes love to use the Gary Antoine Russell thing. Oh, well, Boots got Gary Antoine Russell problems. And they do that to try to minimize a guy because they don't like the hype that he's getting. But let's the reality of it. Gary Russell weighed in at 137 pounds his last fight. He told me out of his own mouth he could make 135. Boots could make 140 if his life depended on it right now, currently. And be Boots. That's just too much. He's a 147-pound fighter. And so with that logic, right, I could say, well, shit, Terence Crawford got Ugas problems. He got to handle that first. He shouldn't even fight Spence. He got beat Ugas. Or I could say, shit, Terence Crawford got Danny Garcia problems. He shouldn't even fight Spence. He got to fight Danny Garcia because he lost over the amateurs. I could say, shit, Terence Crawford, he shouldn't fight Errol Spence. He should fight Ray Robinson because Ray Robinson beat him in the amateurs. See how that sounds? Dudes do it with Boots all day. The amateurs has no bearing on the pros. A lot of times you don't even realize how old these guys were when they fought. A lot of times it ain't 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. Sometimes it's 11. Sometimes it's 12. But we fought the amateurs. Yeah, y'all were babies. And then let's say I fought you at 16. Just because you beat me at 16, does that mean you can beat me at 26? That's 10 years. And we all know that people grow at different rates. So I can become the bigger man. I could be a late bloomer. If you play the sport, we all remember a dude. If you play basketball, football, we all remember a dude that was really nice when y'all were young. And then everybody else grew. And then that dude who was really nice, all of a sudden, everybody's better than him because he peaked early. Scotty, what's good, baby? You rather be a legend of boxing than be rich? No, I'd rather be rich. Let me ask you in the comments. Would you rather be a legend of boxing or be rich? Go. Kobe, I'm a Laker fan, but you got dudes who are Bron fans and they jump from team to team wherever team he's on. I'm a Laker fan through and through. Lakers ass now. All right, if I ever see you on the streets, me and you, we like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my boys, man. Purple and gold. We ain't good though. I'm gonna be honest. We not good right now. Get me a little emotional. I like that fight, Foxy. I want to see that fight. It bothers me that Crawford or Spence don't have a victory against Keith Thurman. That's like I equate I equate that to like what if Ray Leonard and them never fought Benitez? What if they never fought Marvin Hagler? That's what this is like. And mind you, they're not as good as those fighters, in my opinion. But you need to fight the guys of your era. So while I want Boots to get Spencer and Crawford, if they didn't fight Boots before Thurman, I would understand. Hell no. Really want to see Boots versus Rashidi in about a year. Let Rashidi get a couple more fights to knock off the rust. I'm loving it. That's a really, really good fight. Yo, love legacy so much, man. This shit, real life, it ain't Rocky. Exactly. Exactly. And you see Rocky, all that legacy. Yeah, at the end of Rocky 5, he was dead pop. Focus on your business. I can't be mad at Terence Crawford for trying to get the best deal for him and his family. I can't be mad at Errol Spence for that. Can't be mad at that, bro. My man Damone said, I'm not asking about style. I'm just asking about styles, not result. Okay, I'll feel you, bro. Um, stylistically, yeah. Gary Answan's a good pressure fighter. He's definitely a good pressure fighter. All right, so what we got? We got Damone Daniels says Rich, True Speaks Legend, Marion Legend. All right, so we getting a bunch of legends, money. What would you rather be, a boxing legend or Rich? Being a legend will take you further. Eh? I don't know about that. So he was cooking J Rock. Okay, bet. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, so I can't confirm or deny that. Rich, so I don't know. I need examples. Give me the money. Fuck all that legendary shit. Exactly. Charles Young was good. Um, I'm gonna say it's because of the division that he's in. Like, okay, let's look at this objectively, right? I think Boots is one of the most talented fighters to come along in probably the last 20, 30 years, right? But there's a unified champion in the city of Philadelphia. But if we going about name recognition, Boots' name is more recognizable because he's in a division where a lot of big fights are happening. And, it's a lot of pay-per-view fights. Whereas though Stephen Fulton, who's the unified champion in the world, and a pound for pound fighter, in my opinion, name doesn't get mentioned is because There's not that many names in that division. So you can be a great fighter, but if there's no other great fighters that sell tickets in your division, Eric, man, I've been out trying to get y'all these interviews. How I look at it is, why would you care what I gotta say? I don't box. You know what I mean? I like to put the attention and the onus on people who are actually in the sport. And whereas though, like, I don't want to be one of them guys that I don't like to be all in front of the camera, like, hey, look at me, like where the brand is predicated by me, my person. No, YSL sports media, I want it to exist outside of me. And there are other people that work with me. And I just want to make it about the sport. I want to make it about, whatever sport I'm covering. I want you to get the real. And you won't really be able to know, like, you can analyze from your couch, but it's different when you've played a sport or you participate in a sport. I play basketball, so I look at basketball different than I look at boxing. Whereas though, a boxing guy like Greg could school the shit out of me on boxing and what it's really like. And I could school Greg on what basketball is really like. So Kobe, you're 100% right. That's for damn sure. Shouts out to Super Chat, my man Damone Daniels. Fulton versus Shakur. Fuck. It'd be a hard fight for Cool Boy because of the weight. Shakur is a naturally big dude. A naturally big dude. But Cool Boy is a chameleon, where Cool Boy can give it to you however you want it. I would favor Shakur in that because of size, and that he's the bigger man, and Cool Boy would have to go up 2 weight classes, and I don't really like that. But I do think Cool Boy should be. I do think Cool Boy's a more complete fighter than Shakur. Where if Cool Boy can fight on the outside, I fight on the inside. The only reason why I would favor Shakur in that particular bout is just because of the size. If they were the same size, that's a 50-50. Because they're not the same size, yeah, I give the slight edge with Shakur. Because he's a big kid. Bud versus EJ technical war ends with a draw. Man, these fans will lose their mind if this shit ended in a draw. Man, I'm talking about you go see trash cans burning, like the shit. It would be crazy outside, bro. It'd be crazy. Phone underrated because he don't be knocking people out. Yeah, but he be beating the shit out these niggas. Ah, cool boy, man. Cool boy to put up some great performances, man. He said, "My name will ring forever." Exactly, exactly. What's the number one sport in Philly? Basketball. Basketball is the number one sport in Philly. My man Carl Brown, salute to everybody in the building. I'm 100% riding with Spence, and I don't think it's close. Damn. No lie, bud. Spence. Exactly. I'm turning shit over. No, Greg's not my brother, biologically, but that's my brother, man. I fuck with Greg heavy. He's a good dude, man. Good dude and great at what he does. Greg is returning to the ring too. August 28th. I'm gonna drop that interview later on the day. But Greg is returning to the boxing ring, so I'm definitely excited. I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. Yeah, yo. As soon as my young boys get their legs, I'm on it. I promise you, I'm on it. Fulton versus Gary Russell is going to tell me a lot about. Oh shit, that's a good fight. Oh man, that's a good fight. That's two fighters I really, really, really like. That's a good fucking fight. Again, but I can't choose. I can't choose. The Philly in me wants to ride with Cool Boy, and not just because Cool Boy got a really good chance of winning that fight. But Gary Russell's a bad motherfucker, bro. Bad motherfucker. Cool Boy. Cool Boy too big for Monster. And I really like the Monster. Too big though. Styles definitely make fights. Which would be a bigger fight, Tank versus Shakur or Spence versus Crawford? Oh shit. For marketability side, I'm going to say Shakur and Tank, and that's specifically because Jay Prince and Floyd they appeal to the casual market. Jay Prince, he got the hip hop shit on Smash, and every anybody that's ever watched boxing knows who Floyd is, and even people that's never watched boxing knows who Floyd is. But legacy wise, Crawford versus Spence. No, the fuck he not. Shit, crazy. Spence versus Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing. If that had occurred before Canelo's loss, then I would agree with you money wise. Devion, would you think of Carissa's fight? Vegas got a 50-50. No. Clarissa going to outbox Savannah Marshall real smooth. A lot of people don't realize that Savannah Marshall was in her 20s when she beat Clarissa. Clarissa was a kid. Clarissa was like 16, 17 years old when she lost to Savannah in the amateurs. Appreciate you, Rodney. Thanks, man. Thanks for thanks for dropping by, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do a live with Greg. I need to do one. I mean, Greg got a lot of fans. Cool Boy performance against Roman was 10 times better than Devin's. That was about the same. Outbox him smooth. All right, mark my word. Draw putting in the C note if the odds are three. Now you got me thinking, bro. You got me thinking. I may I may have to drop some money on that. What Logan? Who's going to be in Greg's corner? Billy Briscoe, and I'm not sure who the other one is. It might be Bozy. It might be Mr. Bozy. But I know Billy Briscoe is going to be in there. Tank versus Shakur. Why? Shouts out for the super chat from my man Damone Davis. It's 50-50, but I'm going to say Tank. The one thing that gives black fighters that fight on the outside trouble, historically, has always given trouble, is black fighters that can fight in a crouching style, which is, sit down, come forward. If you really think about it, Muhammad Ali's first loss was to Joe Frazier. How does Joe Frazier fight in a crouching style? Mexican fighters pressure. Sometimes if the black fighter is on a higher level, if it's not, let's say it's an A-level black fighter, and when I'm saying black fighter, I'm talking about the black black style, and that athletic style. If he goes up against a B-level Mexican fighter, he's able to turn the Mexican fighter consistently and get out of danger. Whereas though a black fighter that can fight with a crouching style is put in position to make that fighter that fights on the outside engage more than normal. And like you've seen that throughout the years. And I feel like that's the case where Valdez struggled because Shakur was just that much faster than him. Tank's feet are faster than Valdez. And a lot of times it's styles that make fights. I'll give you another example. Y'all ever notice how Mexican fighters be beating the dog shit out of people in the UK? Should be crazy. It takes like a C-level Mexican fighter could beat an A-level UK fighter. It's because of the style. They aren't used to going up against Mexican fighters. Mexican fighters bring a certain level of pressure. UK guys likes to stand in there. They have like a really upright style, so they'll stand in there. You can't stand in front of a Mexican fighter. Knock your fucking head off. So that's why you see dudes like Mauricio Lara knock out Josh Warrington. Andy Ruiz knock out Anthony Joshua. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I didn't know he coming back to MSJ. That's what's up. I don't know. He's a good fighter. I like him. Jeff, I don't know if it's going to be on the zone, but I know he really, really wants that fight. Shakur made Valdez back up, but he also kept turning Valdez during that fight. That's the key to beating pressure fighters. You got to keep turning them. And that's the only reason why I favor Tank in that fight, is because I think he'll be able to corner Shakur in situations that Oscar Valdez couldn't, just because of foot speed. And if we're being honest, black fighters have the fastest feet in boxing. It's like every culture has an ability, a style that they're really good at. Mexican fighters bring pressure like no other. Um, Black fighters really fast on the back foot, really slick. Puerto Rican fighters, uh, they have a certain level of slickness if they're from America. If they're not from America, they're gonna bring solid footwork and a brilliant left hook. Eastern European fighters, real sturdy, upright style, great jab. Russian fighters, great power, good jab, iron chins. So like everybody has their thing. Shit. And the amateurs, terrific. Better than Danny, better than a lot of dudes who were world champions multi-division. The truth, absolute truth. One of the best amateurs I've ever seen. 100 young. Now, the Ukrainian Papachenko fighters are different, right? Lomachenko doesn't have good feet backing up. He doesn't fight well backing up, but his feet are great as far as going forward and creating different angles. So it's two different types of footwork, but still effective. Like Lomachenko does a real good job on the inside. He does shit where he switches from orthodox to southpaw with some of his punches. and his feet are so quick that you don't even pick up on it. So yeah, Papachenko does a really really good job of teaching footwork. But most Eastern European fighters don't fight like Lomachenko or Usyk. Where was that Russian power? Well, Andre Ward is my favorite fighter. He dropped Andre Ward. So there was the power. How many dudes you ever see really drop Andre Ward? I mean, just because your style, you do a certain thing well, it doesn't mean you're unbeatable. It just means you do that thing well. You seen Artur Beterbiev? You see this dude? Come on, man. Mike, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Thanks for the love. Foxy with the $5 super chat. Thanks, love. I appreciate you. Think we could see Stevenson and Tank? Uh, if Stevenson continues selling, then yeah, that's a possible fight. Or if Stevenson leaves Top Rank and goes to PBC. But yeah, other than that, nah, because they're marketing Tank as an attraction as opposed to fighting the best fighters out there. Nah, they promote Tank like a rapper. Like if you notice, he'll be in Atlanta, and then he's in New York, and then he's fighting in LA. Yeah. His fights seem like concerts. Like you will see all the dope boys, you know what I'm saying? All the bad bitches, so to speak, a bunch of chains, a bunch of dudes that they money smell like coke. You know the vibes. that's the Tank demographic. The tank demographic is either your block is doing numbers, you're $1 million athlete, like you in some form of entertainment, or you selling 10 million records. Those are the dudes that you see on Tank's floor. He definitely did. Darnell Boo got great power though. B House, it's my guy. What up, B? Oh shit, yeah. Damn, I didn't know that. Hello, my friends. I'm a French guy, and I want this. Yeah, man, it's a good fight. Yo, how do y'all watch fights in France? What network? Y'all watching on the Zone, like Sky? Uncle Frank, what's good? What's good with you, Uncle Frank? Yeah, they are. Shit, Loma got great footwork for what he does. Great footwork for what he does. That turning and man, that shit. Yo, try to do that shit on your own. Watch. It's hard. It is definitely hard. Dirty Red. All right. The only news that I have on this fight from my contacts tell me that they have already sent the undercard out to matchmakers to be matched. That's all that I know that's for certain. That's it. So that is a great sign. That is a great sign. I'm just looking at you. Truth speaks. Bro, stop. Cut that bullshit out. Andre Ward ain't duck no damn Triple J. What do you think about Haney? I don't like that fight for Dev right now. Right away. I would need to see Dev at 140. I would need to see Dev get a couple fights at 140. One thing that people do not realize about Gary Antoine Russell, all you see is the pressure. All I saw was the pressure. I saw him up close at a media workout at Gleason's gym for his fight against Rancis Bartholomew. His hands are fast as shit. Dev is not going to be used to a dude that's bringing that kind of pressure with that kind of hand speed. No, Dev needs 2 to 3 fights at 140 before he even looks in his direction. And I'm a big Devin Haney guy. Like I said, just because I'm a fan of a dude, I'm gonna keep it a bean, yo. I'm gonna keep it a bean. We got about 5 more minutes left in the show. Any questions y'all want to ask about the business of boxing? Otherwise, yeah, man, hit the like button. I hope y'all hit the like button. I rarely go live, and I know I should go live more, y'all. Appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate you stopping by. Shit, man, look, bro, trust me, he is skilled. He just don't show it because he's a dude that likes to break people's wills. Nah, he got skills. He got skills. He just like to beat people up. Yeah, he beat Boots in the trials. Boots won the first one and sent Gary to the consolation bracket, and Gary had to win 2 more against Boots. The second fight, Boots knocked Gary's mouthpiece out 3 times, and they still gave it to Gary, which I didn't agree. I thought Gary should have lost that fight. Late November, mid to late November. And I'm giving y'all a wink, mid to late November. That's when I think it's going to happen. What would be the other undisputed fight on the card? What would you want to add? Ooh, that's a good fight. I actually favor Gary in that fight to beat Regis. Oh, Tio versus Gary? Oh no, Gary beating Tio, bro. Gary might stop Tio. Nah, he ain't fucking with Gary Russell Jr. Gary Anton Russell, he ain't fucking with him. Yo, I get it, but if I tell y'all who will be telling me shit, then they not gonna tell me shit anymore. Like, don't y'all put it like this, right? People don't remember this. I'm the one that broke Porter versus Crawford. If you right now, if you go in the search bar, Crawford versus Porter announced, and then type in YSM after that, you're going to see and go in the comments. You're going to have people that said, "Oh, you capping. This is why I hate these lying YouTube channels." And I said, "Yo, when it's announced in a couple days, just come back and apologize." So I hear shit, right? And depending on who it is that's telling me, that's I'll run with that. And I have good sources. I have really, really good sources. You talking about Will Madera? That would definitely be a statement. That would definitely be a statement. Man, Frank Martin will beat that nigga ass. He gonna cook him. Was the only ones for what, CJ? Why is some talk about how Ward lost to Kovalev in the first fight, retired early? Last time I checked, Andre Ward's undefeated. And Triple G turned that fight down. No, 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 no. He's too much. No, 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 no. Too much, too much. My God. Dungeon Talk was good. Oh, man, appreciate it. I really don't go live that much, man. I don't really go live that much. Nah, he be on some bullshit, Josiah. He be on some bullshit. He talk a lot. And he was talking greasy about my man Wilder. I'm a big Wilder guy. We still waiting on the biggest fight to get signed, bro. Yeah, man. Hopefully, if I hear something and I get the okay to run with it, I'll tell y'all. Oh yeah, yeah, Kobe. Okay, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Because a lot of dudes said we was lying. I'm like, bro, nah, this fight is done. Yeah, Jeff. One of the reasons why I don't like to go live like that is when you give opinions. Sometimes like the fighters are sensitive, right? So if you pick somebody to beat them and this and that, man, they be feeling some type of way. Then they don't want to do interviews with you. And I like for y'all to get first person account as opposed to me. So I'll let Boots tell you. Let Mr. Bosey tell you. Let Cool Boy tell you. Let Shakur tell you. You know, as opposed to me, I'm like some of these other dudes, they'll watch an interview and then be like, oh, well, such and such said this. No, I'd rather let you hear it from a horse's mouth. And so that's why a lot of times I don't give my opinion. Between 500 and 750,000. Appreciate the super chat, Mike. What's my early prediction on Spence versus Bud? I have it as a 50-50 fight. It could go either way. If I had to lay money on the wood, if I had to bet on the fight, if I had to bet on the fight, I see it going two ways. I would bet decision Spence or stoppage Bud. I know people are like stoppage Bud. Yeah, I can see a situation where Bud catches Spence coming in. I know you super good on the inside. I know Brandon from 210 Boxing. Yo, Brandon started out on YSM Sports Media. Brandon started his own shit. Salute to Brandon, man. And Brandon got juice in these streets. Yo, when it comes to Latin boxing, if Brandon tell you something, it's legit. It's legit. He definitely got ties to a lot of camps, man. And I'm proud of all his progress. So yeah, everything that Brandon do, this shit make me look good. You know what I'm saying? Jeff, I appreciate the love, man. Y'all show me a lot of love for these lives. Damn. I'm gonna be able to get me an oxtail platter later. Because I know oxtails, all the food is expensive as shit, yo. Oxtail platter is like $30 now. My man Dirty Red, how tall is Boots for real? I'm not buying 5'10, like 5'10, 5'11. 5'10", 5'11". Closer to 5'11" than 5'10". Raymond Willis, thanks for the love, bro. Yo, this dude right here, breaking that in film, one of the best I've ever seen do it. Boxing Gym, subscribe to his channel, bro. Yo, I mean, he be using terms that I never even heard of. I'm like, damn, yeah, I gotta steal that. But yeah, Boxing Gym's really, really good breakdown. Now he don't get into the business of boxing. So if you just want a straight boxing talk, analysis on who can win the fight, um, subtle adjustments, tendencies, he's your guy. Also, this man right here, Pound for Pound Sports, one of my favorite channels. Really, really entertaining dude. Unsung. He don't get the love that he should, man. Subscribe to Pound for Pound Sports. Thanks for the super chat, my guy. Yo, it's a couple spots that you can go to. Reading Terminal got a bunch of cheesesteak spots that's vegan. Yeah, so I would say go to Reading Terminal, and they got a couple spots in there. You can choose from who makes the best vegan steak. H Money, my guy, hardest working man on YouTube. Not even close, bro. 10-hour lives, 12-hour lives. Where I am, where I be on my PR stuff, not trying to say anything to ruffle feathers sometimes. H just give it to you straight raw. If he think you a bitch, he gonna call you a bitch. And sometimes I just be watching, I just be cracking up because H say shit that I want to say. Like, nigga, stop bitching. And I always love him for that. Yo. Damone Daniels, appreciate the super chat. Oh, Damone Daniels, Tommy versus Boots. Um, right now, I gotta say, Tommy because I haven't seen the best Boots. I haven't seen the best Boots yet. I've seen the best Tommy. Shit. Boots 2, 3 years from now, I don't know. Because Boots definitely, Tommy chin was questionable. Boots definitely got the power to turn his lights out. But also, Boots has never seen anything like Tommy, bro. 6'2". Boots is normally the bigger man. So 6'2" with power, great jab. I don't know, man. Boxing gyms, man. Appreciate the love, bro. Appreciate the love, man. No, man, it's the truth, though. It's the truth, man. You break that shit down. yo, H, they be turning you up. They be turning you up. Well, shit, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I really appreciate y'all kicking it with me for an hour and a half, man. I'm gonna go bust a grub. Yeah, man, let's stop being fans of specific fighters. Let's call this shit down the middle. Got Crawford, you got Spence, 50-50 fight. Let them negotiate. Let them get a deal done. Stop always blaming Al Heyman for everything. Let's stop blaming Bud for everything. Let's stop blaming Spence. Like, everybody plays a role in fights happening or not happening. And at the end of the day, networks control a lot more than what people think because remember, they're the ones putting up the money. If I'm putting up money if I only got 20 million, okay, I only got 20 million. Like, everybody has a boss. And if the boss can't see a reason of justifying for 30 million guaranteed, then I take the 20 and then shit. If it sell more, you'll make more in the back. Oh, y'all keep coming with the super chats. Wow, man. Appreciate you, Tori. Oh, you like the boy GMX? Okay. Okay, yo, GMX is a good dude. Like I said, he returned to the ring August 28th in Camden, New Jersey, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Salute the H, pound for pound. Boxing gems. Salute to Bonky Key, Big Blunts Boxing, man. My man E Harris, Foxy Brown, my man Jeff. Shit, it's been like, yo, I'm trying to scroll up and just remember everybody. Lost Art, my man Mike, Kobe, Dre Banks. Man, I really, really appreciate y'all. True Speaks, Kush, Game Bread, Devion, my man Damone Daniels. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm out. I'm gonna go eat my man podcast. Ben Davis. Salute to all of y'all, man. Thanks for the love.